Pioneer fans, and welcome to episode 6 of the Pioneers Coaches Show. I'm your host, Jonathan Griffin. Today's Thursday, October 15th, 2020. I'm joined today by the head GSC track and field and cross country coach, head coach Nick Spino. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, we know you do cross country and track. We're mainly going to focus today on cross country since we are in the fall and you guys should be competing right now. So we're going to make most of our focus on cross country. So with that, looking at this team this year for the men and the women, and we'll talk primarily about the women's team first, you have several newcomers and several returners. You have Hannah Dennis, John V. Duncan, and Alexis Sirk are the bulk of those returners on the women's side. What are you looking and expecting out of them when you guys finally do get to compete?
Well, when we finally get to compete, it's definitely tough right now not being able to compete. Kids are in definitely shape, but, whenever we get to compete, actually, just their experience that they've had already. They've been through the ring of things with last year. Hannah Dennis is a senior this year, actually, so big time with her coming in, getting through her final season, all the experience she has, the leadership she has. Getting to know the course now that we know exactly, it's at Ogilvy again. They know the course, what the course looked like last year. They know the type of workouts that we have. Actually, for the first time, we have real upperclassmen. We have Alexis Sirk is a junior, John V. Duncan's in there, Hannah Dennis, like you said. So they can really get to lead this group of new incoming students that we have. So it's kind of nice having a little bit of an older team, a lot more mature team. I think it'll be able to help us a long way.
And going back and looking at last year's results at most of the races, you really got a nice 1-2 punch there with John V and Hannah. Those two, especially for your team, it seems like, they really compete against each other and push each other. So you've got to be excited about that, coming into this year.
Yeah, definitely. Last year they really worked really well together. They have a little bit two different race style techniques. Hannah's more of a go out and grinder. She's going to get out hard. She's going to hold on, get going. John V likes to get into the flow of our races and things. But they always finish very close to each other, and they do that all the time. And I think it takes a long way just for them practicing together every day. They both have their strengths, have their weaknesses, but they work very well together. It definitely, whenever we're out there in practice, on the track, or when they're in their easy training runs or their long Sunday runs, just having those two together is definitely going to be a big time force for us.
Let's look at the newcomers, and there's really just two of them for the women's team, in Hope Brown and Samantha Dawson. Thoughts on those two, and what kind of impact you're looking for them?
Well, Samantha Dawson is a cross-country runner. She's mainly a mid-distance runner for us on track, but I got her to be able to get a little bit more mileage in, handle a little bit more longer strength stuff, so that way when she's ready to go on track, she's ready to transfer over to that 15.8. But she's a big-time catch for us as well. Has a big-time PR, that fits right in there with what Hannah and John V are running. And she's definitely going to be able to be stronger. She's did a lot of her summer workouts. She's on the track already. I would say that she's already on pace to run faster than she did in high school right now, if we were to compete. Getting Hope Brown transferred in, to us, she's a stud. She's a yes coach, no coach, type of athlete, very respectful, and she's another one. She's having her in there. She'll be able to give us a 1-2-3 punch with her, Hannah, and John V, because all their PRs are probably within 15-20 seconds from each other. So she's a big time athlete for us. Definitely going to help us out, make us a lot more deeper, with the cross country scoring 5 and, maybe going to 7 and things like that. Having those girls be very close to each other, all be around the same PRs. And they've been training very well together, getting out on the long runs, staying together, focusing together, motivating each other. It's just going to be a lot better once we get to be on the course.
Looking at the men's team, it's kind of really the same way. You've got a little more depth and a little more returners on the men's team. Just 3 of the 8 are newcomers. So it's really a veteran group. So when you look at that, and especially during a world pandemic and what we're in now in COVID, how much does it help to have those 5 of the 8 our returners. That way they can kind of guide and mentor the other three.
Oh, I mean, it helps tremendously. That men's team is very close-knit. They're together every single day of their lives. They hang out together on and off the track. A lot of them have classes together. Last year, they were very, very top-notch. We didn't have that one killer punch. We changed it up a lot with who was number one, who was number two, and things like that. But they were always probably about 30 seconds to a minute from each other. So having those five with a really close-knit group, and then like you said, we're getting in a couple new guys, Blake and Bryce, Gerald, Adam Davis coming in, Brian coming in as well. Those guys will be able to really mix it up. So I honestly can't wait to see that group. That group's going to be very exciting for us. Probably one of the most deepest cross-country teams that we've ever had here in Glenville.
Yeah, looking at the returners, Clayton B., Chris Chambers, Kyle Stutler, and then Blake and Bryce Gerald, I had them as returners because even though they didn't get to compete last year due to eligibility, they were on the team, so they know what to expect from you. And anybody that's seen those two guys run, I mean, those two young men are studs. I mean, they put in the time, they put in the work, and their dad just got inducted into the Hall of Fame class here. So, with that group and those returners, how excited are you?
I'm very excited. I mean, honestly, I wish we were able to get on the courses right now. I mean, they actually stepped up. They sent in their training logs all summer. They did the workouts all summer long. Like I said, a lot of those kids on that men's team live right next to each other. Blake and Bryce are always together, of course. But we have a lot of kids from Ritchie, have kids from Braxton, have kids from Rome going around. So a lot of them probably got together this summer and were able to do the workouts. When we get on the track, they're all together in the course. They're all on the line. I mean, even whenever some of them have a little different paces, they're pushing each other, working each other. They're actually running faster than what their actual paces are right now. So, once we get together, they're going to be a big-time force. And I think that's one big thing that we have this year, or definitely on the men's side, and even on the women's side, is we have some killer punches and everything else, but, our 2, 3, 4, 5 is not very far behind. We have a lot of depth and a lot of, experience.
I chose GSC because when every school gave up on me after tearing my ACL, GSC was one that still actively recruited me. They brought me in, they treated me like family, and now I'm a 2-time champion.
So the reason I chose GSC is mainly because the community here. And now that's my 4th year here, I know everybody. I also know all my professors really well. We're all great friends even with our professors, and they help you every step of the way. So up to me, it's the community and the people.
Looking at the newcomers, Adam Davis, Austin Mann, and Brian, talk a little bit about them and what they bring to the team.
Those three are definitely very experienced in the cross-country side. The least experienced is Austin Mann, but he's ran before in high school and different stuff. But they just bring in a mix, a new mix that they have a lot more background in the distance. BJ, Brian, and Adam definitely love the longer distance stuff. They're not type of a short type of distance. They love 5Ks, different stuff. I know BJ used to run road races. I think he ran one like over on the West Coast and everything else. And had a big time PR over there. So they're cross country guys. We talk about track heads and different stuff like that. Those are type of cross country guys. I think they really enjoy the cross country. They have the great experience. Adam knows Clayton B already since they went to high school together. So just having that personal mix together with our returners and everything is just going to make us a lot deeper, make us a tighter, close-knit family, make us a lot harder to beat. If we have to get to that 6th, 7th guy, we have that depth to be able to continue to move on.
Obviously, we know you guys are practicing, you guys are putting in the work, but I've talked about this with the football coaches that I've had on here. Athletes are such a creature of habit, and they're so used to this time of the year, those cross-country kids, to be running and competing. What are you and your staff doing, as well as the players, to keep that mindset? Hey guys, we can't play right now. We understand this, but when we can get back on the course, we're going to be ready and we're going to be 110%.
Right now, we're really using it as a teaching to get their confidence up. We're doing different things between a lot of times doing the same workouts, but making the paces faster, making the rest long, to build their confidence, get them to know that they are very in shape, get them to know how their bodies are supposed to feel, getting to know, what their teammates are going to be like and how it's going to be. So we're really teaching them a lot of the dynamics and teaching them, about themselves as athletes and as individuals. I know that coming up in November, if things hold off and things like that, we're going to hold an actual mock meet. So it's going to be kind of nice because we're going to try to get 2 different teams, a blue and a gray team, a blue and a white team, and actually have a meet actually between ourselves. So that would be very big for us because it gives the kids something to compete for. Like you said, they're used to competing, they're used to going every weekend and doing, competitions, things like that. So if we give them something to look for, something to strive for and work for that's up soon, even though we're not going to have competition this fall and everything else, I think it gives them a lot more motivation.
Looking at the spring semester, and it'll be different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about the challenges, because you guys will be in track season,
mm-hmm.
but yet you also have your distance runners in cross country
Yeah.
season. So talk a little bit about that dynamic and how you plan to kind of work around that.
That's definitely going to be very new, but it's something that we're all going to have to work with the MEC. I think we're going to really work a lot. It's going to come down a lot to the personal relationships I have with my athletes. Being able to communicate with them, being able to trust them and them trust me on how their body's feeling, making sure that they're doing the right things with hydrating, sleeping, and eating, and that. It's really going to be a lot of how the athlete and myself work on taking care of their body. We don't want to make sure that they're out there running a race and the next thing you know I'm throwing them on the track and everything else. We're going to really work on communicating it. Our distance team might not run as much indoors, which to be honest, sometimes those distance kids, they don't like running indoors. It's too many laps. That's what they tell me all the time. They probably won't run much indoors, but once we get to the outdoor season, it's going to be a lot about the rest and them taking care of their bodies. A lot of communication process between the both of us. But I think it's very good because I'm getting them used to doing training logs every week. So they're writing down how much water they've had, how much hours of sleep they've had, how they're feeling, little aches and pains, different stuff. It's going to be, those little training logs going to be able to communicate back and forth so that way we can make sure that we don't over push our athletes and they can get top performances on both ends.
Now we got the cross country out of the way. We're going to get to let the Pioneer fans get to know Coach Spino.
Okay.
So you're at home. Let's say it's a Monday night, and this can only happen during this time right now because of the pandemic. But you've got Major League Baseball, NFL, or NBA on. What are you watching?
Oh, that depends. Probably I'll be watching some NBA.
Okay.
Definitely watching the playoffs going on right now in the bubble.
Pizza, hot or cold?
Oh, hot.
Hot, okay. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Okay. Favorite social media outlet?
Oh, that's probably Snapchat.
Snapchat, okay. Okay, so this I know the answer to this one, but the Pioneer fans won't. Sprints or distance running?
Oh, sprints. All day, sprints.
What TV show are you currently watching? It can be on Netflix or on cable.
Oh, man, that's tough. Honestly, I wasn't really watching too much TV lately. I've been watching a lot of live TV, so NBAs and stuff.
Jordan or LeBron?
Oh, Jordan.
Okay.
Jordan.
I will definitely agree with you on that one. If you had to live by one hashtag and you had to live by it, what would it be and why?
One of my best friends has a new company that he started up and everything else called CTC. So Courage to Continue will probably be a hashtag. It's something that you can always do with your lifestyle. Everybody's going through something, so I think it's nice to have a hashtag to make sure that you're always, have that courage to push through and everything else. So that right now is kind of the lifestyle of what I'm living on.
So last one, and I'll let you go. And again, thank you for tuning in or sitting down with us.
Mm-hmm.
Last question. Know you're a Lakers fan.
Yes.
Do the Lakers go up 3-1 tonight?
Yes.
Or okay, so
yes.
they go up 3-1.
After LeBron walked off the court with 10 seconds left, I think he's going to probably give us something good tonight.
Okay.
So I think that the Lakers will be up 3-1 and probably win the series in probably 5 games.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it, Pioneer fans. Once again, I'd like to thank Pioneer Media, Jake Zimmers, Glenville State College, as well as, again, Coach Spino and the men's and women's cross country and track and field team. For myself, Jonathan Griffin, that was all for this episode, and we will see you guys next week.